Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk here about the communication that needs to happen in a group fitness environment. There's about 8 categories: the whiteboard, the general, the movement specific. During the action, this is essentially strength, skill, the transitions between things, before the workout, during the workout, and after. At the whiteboard, there's a skill we utilize called stop and go. Stop and go allows everyone to process the information, and it looks and sounds something like this. All right, everybody gather around. Stop. We have a 3-part day today. Stop. We're gonna kick it off with the shoulder press. And today we're gonna do 3 working sets every 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay.
And you would progress.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
45.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Essentially making sure you use stopping points so the brain can digest, because if we do not, what happens?
You don't remember.
You don't remember.
Too much to focus on.
Too much, and that creates what?
Chaos.
Chaos, confusion, and
Questions.
questions. So we eliminate that by the stop and go. Now when you get to the workout, there's a specific sequence and order we want to give to our members, because if this is not given, what could happen then when it comes time to the workout?
Questions.
Questions,
Doing it improperly.
doing it improperly. The experience could be what?
Lackluster.
Lackluster. Could it slow the class down?
Yeah.
Could it throw us off our timeline? Absolutely. Could people do too heavy of weight?
Yep.
Could people not know what the right weight to do? Okay. I'll give you a specific example of what we utilized today. I used for like JD and Richard. So when you go into like, what is the stimulus? What should we be expecting this is going to feel like? What body parts, etc. Are we going to be out of breath? Is it muscular? Is it a combination? And you want to be able to do this in about 30 seconds or less. Okay. Next, we say the target ranges. So we want to give them the scope of like, what are we truly after today? Maybe like results-wise, barring any anomalies like we mentioned, like maybe like Nolan or somebody getting a super high score. And then how do we get there, coach? How should we be thinking about this? Our people love this. How to pace the workout. How we say 10 bar facing burpees in our most fatigued state should take us maybe about a minute to a minute 15 max. The snatches, dumbbell snatches, touch and go, could be anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds. So we could be looking at like a 2-minute or less round. So now we have an idea of how long movements are going to take. And then this last part is probably the most important, is adjustments or customization, because not everybody can do the heavy dumbbell snatch, things like that. And this is where you can say, I'm going to show you 3 different burpee option or styles today to do the bar facing burpee, and you can pick which is best for you. And they're going to be like, okay, so there's some relief there. If somebody couldn't snatch or couldn't do a movement, this is where we plug in very simple option A, option B that mimic the particular movements. But all this is done at the whiteboard, so they have a clear picture and know where they're going for the workout. That gives them a C word. What's that C word?
Confidence.
What's another C word? It gives them
Certainty.
certainty, and they want certainty. They want to know where they're going, okay? Confidence too. Then we move into the general warm-up. We just talked about this. Give me a framing example that we could say before we do a 2-3 round warm-up. What's a framing?
In a moment.
In a moment, because it stops them in their tracks and they're like, we're about to do X. You're telling them what they're about to do before they do it. Because if we don't, they're going to start doing it and people are going to start being all over a different place and they're not going to be listening. Okay? Then there's this element that we do here very well and we want to keep very well, and that's called pacing and leading. Pacing and leading could be deemed as like, say you said, all right guys, we're gonna kick today off with 20 groiners into 10 push-ups into 10 sit-ups. Like that's a round of something. And they're working through their groiners. What's something in terms of pacing and leading when they're working through their groiners, what could you say?
Drop your elbow.
You could give them a cue. All right guys, let's drop our inside elbow on that knee through the groiner here, get more of a stretch through the hips. What else can we say about those movements?
We're warming up our hips right now for our deadlift.
We can tell them what we're doing, absolutely. I even like this. Remind them we're doing 20 total groiners. And you're gonna follow that up with, when you're done with 20, 10 push-ups from your knees or your toes. So they're subconsciously hearing what to do, where to go next. There's no idle time. There's no like, I'm just working through my groiners and I'm like, what's the movement already? Because I'm thinking about what I did this weekend, what stress, work, etc. Always a step ahead, okay? You're leading and guiding them where to go. We just talked about this where if I'm working through the groiners, remind them where we're going next. So they know, because short-term memory, they're gonna shirk it out and they're not gonna remember, okay? Then we get into movement specific like you did today. Let's say this was also in your weighted warm-up, framing in a moment. Because we talked about if I have the barbell and I say, guys, grab the barbell, they're going to start moving as I move, and I don't want that. I say in a moment, so that stops them from moving and we can all get them moving together. When I say we're doing a weighted warm-up and I say in a moment we're gonna do 5 RDLs, 5 bent rows, 5 strict press for 3 rounds, I show that. Everyone's barbell's on the floor and I say, all right, let's go ahead and start with that. And I call it out, I pace and I lead. What does that allow me as the coach to do as well?
Have eyes on them.
To have eyes on them. And I'm always looking for safety and as they move through. Now we go to movement specific. And this could be for you the strict press. So you want to frame, you want to pace and lead, and you want to give them focuses. In the strict press, what could we say about like the example of like my feet? Give them simplicity. You went a little too off the grid with like the deadlift feet thing. Mm-hmm. So tell me about my feet in the strict press. Say feet under the
hips.
Exactly. So give simple things, but don't do it too many. 3 or less. So feet is 1, feet under the hips. We're gonna be in a front rack position, which our elbows are gonna be in front of our body. And then what's something that everyone needs to be moving?
Their head.
Yeah, so you could say, once we're here, we're gonna move our head back and our head through. And then as they're doing those reps, what could I tell them to squeeze? Yeah, so I'm always coaching. I don't have to dump it all out at once. And I think that was something we learned in this class where let me do like 2 to 3 things. All right, guys, get your feet on your hips. Let's get the barbell up, elbows slightly in front of the body. Move your head out of the way and press overhead and hold. And as you lower, move your head out of the way, touch your shoulder. Great. I want you to do 10 more presses. And as they're doing that, squeeze your butt, no legs. And I'm looking, who's moving their head out of the way? So it allows me to coach and see who's got it, who doesn't, who needs more of my attention as they're doing the weighted sets. So I give them focuses, I pace and I lead, and I obviously frame them, okay? Then during the action, during the strict pressing, 3, 2, 1, go. Everyone's doing their 15 to 18 reps at 50%. What do we want to be saying, or what could we be saying? Global coaching cues. So yeah, I'm scanning the room, I'm looking who's got it, everyone's safe. What could I say during the press? So it's not just music and then pressing. Mm-hmm. What could I say? Give me anything. To the whole class, what's a global cue?
Make sure you're getting your head through.
Simplify it.
Head through.
Head through what? We say the window. So this creates a window, right? You can even go simpler, like in round 1. Everybody squeeze your butt. I'm gonna be looking, making sure your butt is squeezed. Squeeze your butt, no legs. If you need a rest overhead. They need to hear those things because guess what? 8 reps in, your shoulders are burned. Mm-hmm. And global cues, loud like that, remind them. Whereas like if you get hung up on Marina and you're like, hey Marina, I really want you to make sure you're doing this. And that may happen, that's okay, but you wanna make sure you give out global cues too. And then there's micro cues, like somebody's doing it wrong. You look and they're like doing this. That's like, yep, I gotta go fix that. You could fix it during, or you could say, if it's not a safety thing, you can say, hey, Sandy, I noticed when we were pressing here, this is what your press looked like. What would you say needs to move? And she's gonna say, oh, it doesn't look like my head's moving. It's not. Without the bar, can you show me head back and then through? Yeah, let's focus on that our next set. During the rest, okay, there was a big rest period. And what happened during that in terms of your voice? Nothing. You were more comfortable to go up to like people 1-on-1 and Tommy, and that turned the energy dial down. You cut the music down. You say, guys, set 1 down. Thumbs up if we got 12. Thumbs up if we got 15. Thumbs up if we reached 18. Awesome. Okay, I want to tell you guys that it's going to get more difficult. You're staying on a timed component here. Every 2:15 is tough on the shoulders. everybody's doing a great job of X. I want you to really focus on X in your next set. See if you can get within 3 to 5 reps of your first set. Cool, we're up again in 30 seconds. The void was filled. I'm always a step ahead. They need to hear your voice because who's the leader? Yeah, the coach. And that keeps the energy up because if you're walking around and all of a sudden you're sunken in, guess what?
They are.
They are too, okay? So now the action's over and we need to transition to the next thing. For us today, it was the deadlift. What do you need to do in that transition?
Direct.
You need to be direct. And how do we be direct?
By framing them.
Frame. You cut the music dead down, all the way. And you know, in your lesson plan, I've allotted 1 minute to transition from an empty bar, a loaded press bar to an empty bar to warm up the deadlift, if that's what we were gonna do. Boom, okay, 1 minute, good. All right, everybody, the press is done. We're gonna move on to the deadlift now. And depends on how you wanna coach this. You today went with the approach of, I'm gonna show and give them 2 focuses and then have them warm up 6 reps. That's okay, but guess what? 1 to 15, were you able to see everybody own those things that you focused on? No. What could you do next time? You could cue them with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could say, all right, everybody bring the barbell up to the top of the hip. Today, 2 big focuses today. Driving our feet through the ground, and we're gonna really focus on pressing those toes into the ground today. Not the, okay. Push your butt back, drop your hips. All right, follow my lead, up. And you look around and you say, okay, got it. Gotta fix that. Hey, Maria, hips up. Got it, good. All right, everybody, barbells down for a brief second. Those were smooth. The other focus is right before we get set. Sometimes I can see shoulders here. We wanna retract those shoulders before we do our very first pull. So in a moment, we're gonna meet at mid-shin. We're gonna have those shoulders over the bar, and I'm gonna ask you to retract those, like there's a great cue penciled in the mid-back. But have us do it globally and say, all right, we're gonna reset up, first rep again, pull the shoulders back, and stand. Reset, relax your shoulders. And I'm just doing this so we can really focus on shoulders back and keep driving through. And you've already allotted that you're only gonna take 2 minutes to do that. And then you say, okay, I'm gonna give you 4 minutes in sets of 3 to get to your 75%. Sets of 3, so 3 at my first weight, throw some more on, 3, we should be at our 75% in 3 minutes. Clock is rolling. That's leading them. That's pacing and leading. That comes from your warm-up. That's I know where to go, music's up, and that's where you coach. You make your rounds, you say, so-and-so's doing great, they're retracting their shoulders. Sean, how does that feel? It feels awesome? Awesome, great. I'm really happy to see you utilizing that. We connect. I feel your presence. I feel you've coached me. You give me some value, and you saw it. That would have felt awesome, but it was missed, okay? So all that can happen in your transitional, and that happens with certainty because we use these skills of framing, pacing, and leading. Before the workout, you did a great job today with the burpees, providing strategy. I think you kind of combined some. You were like, we can jump and step. Some people need the whole stepping action, like step back. And it's just options. Like you went with that today, you gave 3. But you missed out on the opportunity of giving options in the snatch. Mm-hmm. Because what were Nolan and I doing in the snatch?
Alternating.
Well, we were, but what we were doing off the ground. We were doing touch and go.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so there's touch and go, and then there's reset, right? We want members to know that. So we want to say, faster is this, if we have the strength, because it's a heavy dumbbell today, could we touch and go? But also, we may need to call on this reset style, where we reset at the ground. And the most important thing to me is your back position, which you told us. But you provided options for everybody now. So they know option number 1 in the burpee and that reset snatch is the way I'm gonna go today for my 10-minute workout. And then you refreshed us on the goal, which was great, okay? So frame and options for everybody to customize their workout. Him and I are gonna push the pace. Tommy D really focused on his breathing and felt really proud of his workout. Abby was proud of her workout that she used a heavier dumbbell. Did you know those things? That's what your job is to know. And we're gonna talk about that, where that comes in. During the workout's underway. It's bonkers. I didn't hear a peep from you. And I was like, that sucks. Because you're the energy bus, not me. And I can contain it. I can create my own. But man, it would have felt really good to hear some global cues. Drop your hips in the snatch. Looking great, so and so. Keep up the pace, so and so. We are 2 minutes in. Like that's like emceeing the workout. Obviously, you're making sure people are safe. You're coaching people always. You're choosing your strategic points, but you're not on autopilot. You're vocal, and we want to hear you. You make your strategic choices of individual coaching, and you know those from your lesson plan. What could go wrong in the snatch? Early arm bend and maybe hip staying high. I'm gonna look for the early arm bend this one round as I cycle the room. Everyone's doing a great job of keeping their arms straight in that snatch to the very last minute. Keep it up, gang. We are 4 minutes in. Sometimes Noel mentioned, sometimes I can leave my hips high in the snatch. Okay. I'm gonna look for that in my next round of snatches. So I get in there and say, hey Noel, on the way down, drop your butt a little bit. Use your glutes. You don't want to toast out your back. That's it, like that, brother. Yes. Keep it up. Move that 70 pounds smooth. That's coaching even the most advanced person. What could go in the burpee? I know for me, I turn it into a negative. I get so smoked that I'm like, and I make my upper body work harder. So you could say, Sean, I know you're tired. If you can, drop a little faster in that burpee. Save your arms. Right? So you're keeping the energy up. You're making sure everybody's safe. You're doing individual coaching and global cues. And you're leading this thing and pacing, and you're keeping the energy up. Because who's the energy bus? You. Yeah. Okay, we just died. We hit the workout. It was hard. What do you need to give us? Everyone's boom on their backs, on their back. 3, 2, 1, time! What do you need to give us? A moment of silence. If we immediately say, guys, we did a great, blah, blah, we did a great job, we don't even hear it because we're like, our heart beats are so fast, we're out of breath. That's your opportunity to make individual rounds through the room and fist bump. And if you have moments of that you're really proud of, you can acknowledge effort-wise or movement-wise, you do that. Tommy, I really saw you paying attention to your breathing. Yeah, I was. Awesome. Sean, you kept a great pace coming out of being sick. My goodness, awesome work today. Derek, great job in those sleeping pants of yours. Boom. So it doesn't have to be everybody. You can say, hey, good job today, good job today, good job today. Then, what you did, which was beautiful, recap globally. If you need air, grab it. Then, all right, guys, we're gonna go into a team cleanup. But give the moment, and that moment is intimate. It's everyone's recovering like, I just did it, I made it through. Those are personalized, so I go up and that's where I give everyone gratitude and appreciation individually. You see me, you feel me, okay? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this is our strategy every single class that we shoot for, and our guiding post to always lead or strive to lead a 10 out of 10 service delivery. And when it's absent, you feel it. So always assess and reassess these things, okay? Mm-hmm. So stop this.